Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Bakersfield, San Jose, California, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So there's a new FDA chief, and we're really lucky to have him. His name is Dr. Marty Makary. And he just announced, this is from Holden Colada's Twitter feed, he just announced a tsunami of groundbreaking reforms. Big Pharma insiders are going to be removed from FDA committees. What? There were Big Pharma insiders on FDA committees in the first place?
Well, that sounds like a conflict of interest, Jimmy.
Sounds like it. The FDA is going to end Dr. Fauci's cruel animal testing. And Maha is about to change everything. So let's get to... So if you don't know who he is, the Trump's FDA pick made his name by bashing the medical establishment. Soon he may be leading it. Dr. Marty Makary rose to national attention by skewering the medical establishment in books and papers and bashing the federal response to COVID-19 on TV. Now the Johns Hopkins University surgeon and researcher has been nominated. No, this is an old thing. He is the head of the FDA. Mm-hmm. He's called the U.S. food supply poison. Says the federal government is the greatest perpetrator of misinformation about COVID-19 and regularly suggests that pesticides, fluoride, and overuse of antibiotics may be to blame for the rising rates of infertility, attention deficit disorder, and other health conditions. Well, if I was this guy, I would get a food taster and a robot to start my car in the morning. That's all I'm saying. So here he is. He did a sit down with Megyn Kelly, which pisses me off because I want to sit down with Dr. Marty Makary. Why don't we have one?
Oh, I think you meant Megyn Kelly.
She's got Megyn Kelly. She's got a stupid show on frickin' Sirius that no one listens to, and she gets a sit down with the FDA guy. How come I don't get it?
I just want to ask her if Ozempic burps are as gross as I've heard.
So, yeah, I know. So here's his bombshell. Ready?
Today, we're announcing we are removing industry members, pharma members from FDA advisory committees. I was shocked when I learned that employees of big pharma companies sit on FDA advisory committees as members of those committees. So we're going to be replacing them whenever statutorily possible with patients and family caregivers. We are going to be inviting pharma companies to send representatives to the advisory committees, but they can sit with the rest of the public and watch and pose questions as the rest of the American public can. So
that speaks to it doesn't stop at FDAers leaving and going directly to big pharma to work pushing the drugs they just approved while government employees. It's also while the FDA is approving those drugs, big pharma right now has a role in pushing for it, in advising the people who are the decision makers. And so on that second piece of it, at least, right now, you're stopping that.
We're stopping that for every committee where we can by statute, and we're replacing them with patients and family caregivers. And the idea is that there should not be a cozy relationship. There should be a user-friendly process for industry, but not a cozy relationship. Because let's be honest, a lot of people in the United States feel that the system is rigged. A lot of people feel that the relationship is too cozy between pharma and regulators. And so
I hate that he uses the term feel. A lot of people feel. No, a lot of people know. A lot of people know that the system's corrupt. A lot of people know that the system is corrupted by big pharma money. A lot of people know this. They don't feel this. It's not a feeling. It's something I know. What do you want to say, Kurt?
I did not know. When he just said, I thought it was former employees of big pharma are sitting on the FDA.
No, it's current.
So they have a job.
They have a job at big pharma, and they sit on the committees that approve drugs right now.
That I'm blown away by that. That's like, what would be the problem with that?
Look, right?
I have both jobs at the same time, regulating and the thing being regulated.
Here we go.
This is an agency that belongs to the American people. And so we can work with pharma and at the same time ensure that scientific evaluation process is totally independent. And on those advisory committees, the pharma and device members of those advisory committees will say that they're non-voting members. But that is a sort of a close club of individuals that has a running dialogue, and they meet and they become friendly. And it's okay to be friendly, but we need the scientific evaluation, the voting, to be totally independent. And so people ask, are you anti-pharma or pro-pharma? Mm-hmm. And the reality is we're pro-pharma, but our evaluation has to be independent. And we cannot have any more indications for chronic pain written for a drug based on a 14-day study where the regulator then goes immediately works for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you say you're pro-pharma? Why wouldn't you say you're pro-citizen? We're not pro-pharma or anti-pharma. We're pro-patient. We're pro-American citizen. Why would you say you're pro-pharma? That's just, even a guy like this who's a truth teller, who told the truth about COVID, who said the government is the biggest misinformer about COVID. He said this in testimony in Congress. Even that guy says, we're pro-pharma. You don't say that.
He's saying well, I'll tell you why. Because a bunch of people that don't interpret pharma as something bad, as a word, interpret it as modern medicine. That's all they think when they hear that word. Mm-hmm. So that's why he's saying it that way.
Okay.
Really, this is, let's say there's people that make boats, and then you're a boat inspector, and your job is to look for holes in the fucking boat, right? That should be independent. The guy who makes the boat shouldn't be on the board advising you not to notice a hole in the boat. You're not against boats because you find the holes in the boat. Right. You're helping everyone.
Let's see if there's more to this clip.
That's the kind of thing that breeds distrust. And that's why people perceive that this agency, the FDA, has been captured by industry, and it is not captured by industry. It is owned by the American people right now.
Okay. Well, it was captured by industry. That's not a perception. That was a fact. Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Bakersfield, San Jose, California, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.